Email open rate tracking. How does it work and why doesn't it always work?
Great question.
So another name for it is pixel tracking.
Why is it called pixel tracking?
It's called pixel tracking because how it works is sending a 1 pixel transparent image. How does that work?
Ooh, good question.
Well, first off, 1 pixel transparent means it's hidden and you're not going to see it, so it doesn't get in the way.
It's really undetectable.
Right, so you get this little image. Now, let's.
That doesn't seem very interesting.
Right.
Why would you want to send a transparent image that you can't see?
That's a good question. So let's say you're sending out a newsletter. You're a newsletter service.
Okay.
And you send out a newsletter to 1,000 recipients.
Okay.
So that's 1,000 different copies of the newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
In each one, you have a 1 pixel image with a unique ID. Each one's different.
So 1,000 different pixels.
1,000 different pixels in those 1,000 copies of your newsletter going out.
Okay.
So now, when a recipient opens your email,
599.
599 open the email.
What do they see?
Well, they open the email and there's no images, and they click load images because that's not always on.
We're going to get to that in a second.
Okay, the images load, there's your newsletter, looks great.
great.
You don't see the 1 pixel image.
Where do those images load from?
Those images come from a server, a web host. Usually
that
from,
mean?
that's a computer that delivers the internet.
Okay.
So that,
Sounds tasty.
delicious, that computer delivers the unique pixel. It says, oh, hey, we're getting a request for 1234 pixel. And it delivers it, and from that, it can look up, who did we send 1234 to? Oh, we sent it to Zach.
Okay.
Zach has opened his email.
And then
And that's how we know. When that unique ID is called, we get a request for that image, we know that that email was opened.
And what other information, when I make that request, or my computer makes that request, does it pass along any other
Oh,
information?
lots of information. We can tell what device you're using.
Okay.
We can tell what mail client you're using, if you're using Apple Mail or Gmail or whatever.
Or Outlook or
Right?
whatever.
Right. We can tell what browser or device
you're
you're
in a
using. If you're in a web browser.
Web browser.
Location from your IP address,
It also sends your IP address, yeah, which is your
which can
location.
be connected to all sorts of fun things. So lots of information gets tracked from that. Now, why doesn't it always work?
Great question.
Usually, in most mail clients, loading images is an option. You
Right.
don't have to do it.
Load remote content, load remote images, that sort of language.
Right. For multiple reasons. One, maybe you don't have the bandwidth on your mobile phone,
Right, you want to save some data so you don't load them by default.
or maybe you don't want to be tracked.
You have privacy concerns, yes.
Right. So if you don't load the images, we can't tell if you've read the email, and that's why it doesn't always work.
Right, so if you turn off automatic loading of images, you really can't be tracked whether you open the email or not.
Right. And as soon as you load it, chances are whoever sent you that email knows that you opened it.
Exactly, and they know every time you load it.
Good point. So when you
Depending on the mail client. Some clients
Some
cache
cache,
it, but
yeah.
most of the clients, it's every time you load that.
right, which is interesting to see if people go back and look again and again.
So you can see how many times you've read that email. And now, does it need to be in its own pixel? Could it be in a, say, a logo?
Of course.
Or an image
Any
that
image.
looks very, what's the word I'm looking for? Non-malicious or
Of course.
non-tracking.
Of course.
So you
Any
never
image would
know.
work.
You could do this in something that you
Any
never
image
know.
would work. Pixel tracking is sometimes if it's a third-party tracker. So if you use a system to track your email open rates, they don't know what images you want, and rather than mess with all that, they just
put in there.
put the 1 pixel in there. So there's different ways to do it. It doesn't have to be the 1 pixel image, but typically it is, and that's how it works.
That's pixel tracking.